Today I am going to show you how to create a space scene completely in Blackmagic Design Fusion. Okay, so let's start with this meteorites. I call it space rocks. So start with this. Okay, here I use one map. I downloaded it from Google. Okay, so now start with space rocks. So for that I create one shape 3D. Okay, and I activate light on viewport. I define my shape as sphere and I increase subdivision because I apply some displacement on the shape. To displace this shape I create one fast noise like this. I increase detail, but before that I set alpha to 1 and I increase detail, for example near about 8. A little scale. Okay, now on this shape I apply displace 3D and this fast noise as my displacement map, and now you see you get some good displacement. But now see, here you get some problem. This object has some seam issues because see, whenever you work with basic shape 3D of Fusion and you see these seams are open, so to solve this problem I add one more tool before displace these things, and that is weld 3D. So it weld your seams and now you see you get some good rock. Okay, now I create one material for this rock using this image. So to design material I go to tools, 3D, material, and here I use Fong material and I apply this image. I change some settings, for example I do not need that much of specularity, so I decrease specular intensity, and I need some bump map. So to create bump map you have to go 3D texture and bump map, and I use this same image as my bump map, and you see. And now see, here you have one more good technique. Right click on this output of bump map and drag middle of this Fong node and you get this list. So I can easily define bump map. So now you get some bump map. Even you can change some value, for example I increase height value or anything. Now I apply this material on this shape 3D, and now you get some good rock. But I need some more rock, so I got some variations on rocks. So for that, what I'm doing, I create one transform 3D node and I apply over here by pressing shift key, and here I change some scale value, some rotation like this, and now you see I got one rock. Now I create one more transform 3D and I create one branch from this well 3D. I use one more, I copy this thing, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, use same fast noise as displacement map, but here I change some different value. Like this. So you get this rock using same shape. Okay, I duplicate these things, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, I create one more branch. Use same fast noise as displacement map. Change some settings in scale. Like this. One more branch and same fast noise. Like this. Okay, so here I create 4 different space rocks or say meteorites using this one shape 3D and displace 3D. Okay, now I sprayed these rocks in space. So for that I create one particle system, P emitter. Whenever you work with emitter, you need P render. Okay, and you get one particle system. Now I want this rock sprayed in one orbit or one elliptic shapes or in elliptic path. So for that I create one more shape 3D to define the region of my emitter. So for that I create one torus. I increase radius of this torus, for example 20, as well as I increase the section. Like this. Now I go to P emitter. In region I define mesh and this torus as my emitter, and now you see you get some particle throughout this shape. Now increase particle value, for example 300, and you got some particle in one elliptic shape or one round shape. Now here if I play these things, the particle automatically increment because numbers of particle per frame is 300. So to stop these things, I animate these numbers. So for example, on first frame I animate this to 300, and in next frame I set it to 0. I also need to increase the lifespan. For example, here your total timeline is 300 frames, so always increase this value to, for example, 350, more than 300 or 300. So I got these particles over here. Now I change my particle style to blob. I increase the size of blob as well as set some variations, for example 1.15, 0.03 in size variations. Okay, right now your blob face the camera. So to avoid these things, I go to control, rotation control, and I deselect this always face camera. So now see, as well as I apply some spin variation, for example 2, 4, 3. Okay, so now you see your particle spin. Now what I have to do is apply these rocks onto this particle. So for that, Fusion 7 provide one more good tool, that is your replicate. Now as a replicate source, I define this emitter system and this all rock that we create as instance. And now you see, just apply this thing, apply, and here I do some changes, and that is alignment. First of all, I input mode I set it to random, so my instance is spread in random in this space. Now an alignment, I define TBN, that is tangent, binormal and normal alignment, so it rotate according to your particle system. Now you can see if I play these things, your rock also rotate. And now rotate this whole thing. What I have to do, I apply one more transform 3D, and here I animate these things, Y rotation, animate, and over here I increase some value like this or this little bit. So now you see now depends upon you, you can increase the particle emitter by change this value, for example 600, and you got some more rocks. Right now for our example I set it to 300. In actual output that you see over here, I use around 2000 rocks. Okay, so here I complete my first task, that is create some meteorites in space. Okay, now next step is to create planet inside this. So it is very easy. You create one more, transform 3D, drag these things, create one more, merge 3D, apply this group of rocks and this transform 3D in one merge. I can increase the size of this planet. Okay, and you get this thing. Now I have to put some light. So for that I create light, spotlight, and I also create one camera so that we can easily see output of my lighting. So I put over here. On merge 3D I set one more node that is called render 3D, and I drag on this my first viewport so that we can see easily my output. So I set my camera over here like this. And in render 3D I activate this light and shadow. Now I change my light setting. I go to transform, use target, control, I increase cone angle, penumbra angle, so that I can cover the whole scene through this light. Okay, and I change my color. For example, here I use orange color as my intensity. So now you get some rim light. Now I create one more spotlight. Use target, and then change intensity to dark blue. Like this, and I create one more light that is your ambient light, so I can feel these things. And I decrease the intensity of this ambience to maybe 0.1, and I change my color to again orange. Okay, so you get some kind of this result. You can change your like this, and definitely you can change color. For example, if I change my color to like cyan color, you get some different result. So right now I control Z and I set this lighting. Okay, now I create one backdrop with the starry sky. So to create starry sky, I create one fast noise. In fast noise I set alpha to 1 of this color and go to noise and decrease detail and increase scale of this thing more than 20, for example 300, and now you see you got this kind of result. Now I apply one color correction node. I go to label and I change something like that. So you get some starry sky. Now I apply this image on one image plane. In this image plane I go to light, affect by light I off, so this light doesn't affect this image plane. Set it over here. I increase the size of this plane. And I move this over here. So it set my backdrop. Now you can see in render you got some this kind of backdrop. Okay, so this is I complete one scene. Now I need to create this environment.